Morning, Brett.
Hey, good morning. How we doing? Welcome to Choices Podcast. You find us at choicespodcastofficial.com. You can go on YouTube and just Google Choices Podcast. You'll see it. We ask you to just scroll down a little bit, subscribe to our podcast. We are growing. We're doing good things. And good morning, Carcass.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm always great.
Carcass.
Yes, sir.
Before you pick a song out, you know what's really cool about this podcast that I really didn't realize when we started it?
What's that?
Is that we're growing with it.
Well, that's what's supposed to happen.
The podcast is like a huge group therapy on steroids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, as Tai Chi master Paul Kawakami would say, the best way to learn is to teach.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're teaching people, and in the same process, we're learning.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, you got a song for us today?
I do. I don't think we did a song last week, so I'm going to pull that one out of the fire because I think it still works. So this is the song "One" by U2 from 1991. So it says, "Is it getting any better, or do you feel the same? Will it make it easier on you now? You got someone to blame. You say one love, one life, when it's one need in the night. One love, we get to share it. Leaves you if you don't care for it. Did I disappoint me? Did I disappoint you, or leave a bad taste in your mouth? You act like you never had love, and you want me to go without. Well, it's too late tonight to drag the past out into the light. We are one, but we're not the same. We get to carry each other. One. Have you come here for forgiveness? Have you come to raise the dead? Have you come to here to play Jesus to the leopards in your head?" Which I think is an interesting lyric, and we can circle back to that. Do I ask too much, more than a lot? You gave me nothing. Now that's all I got. We're one, but we're not the same. Well, we hurt each other, and then we do it all over again. You say love is a temple, love is a higher law. Love is a temple, love is a higher law. You ask me to enter, but then you make me crawl, and I can't be holden onto what you got when all you got is hurt. And then it goes on to the chorus as one love, one blood, one life. You got to do what you should, one life with each other, sisters and brothers. One life, but we're not the same. We get to carry each other like we're one. I think that one lyric, have you come here to play Jesus to the lepers in your head? I mean, if you have any knowledge of the Bible, you realize that when Christ healed the lepers, he didn't ask them to do anything spectacular. In fact, some of them, all he did was touch them, and they were healed. So I think that's interesting, that sometimes the answer to our issues is pretty simple, but yet we complicate it, and we work against each other instead of forming kind of a bond as community, because we're all brothers and sisters.
Oh wow! It's the world as we're living in today is crazy. I was sitting in my office yesterday, and a friend of mine came by, and he goes, "Man, did you hear about that girl in Highland Park?" I said, "What girl?" "The girl that hung herself." He showed me a picture of her, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, how did that happen?"
Or why did it happen?
Her dad hung himself 9 years ago. And I was just like, well, there you go, Dad. You're teaching your daughter that it's okay to hang yourself.
That's the worst example I can think of.
And it's beautiful young girl. Every bit of probably 21. And I just couldn't believe it. Then I got my best friend growing up that he's living over there at his house like a hermit, smoking dope every day. Uh, it's just, I don't know why people do that. I don't know why people live like hermits and live a lonely life, live depressed, live uh, where they don't want anyone to be around them so they can smoke their dope or do whatever.
Well, first of all, I don't think people have a clear purpose. And when you don't anchor yourself to something higher than yourself, then I think you're asking for trouble. We weren't sent to Earth to try and do this on our own. I mean, that's why we have community. That's why we have people. That's why we have families. That's why we have churches. That's why we have schools. That's supposed to be a rallying point for all of us.
Yeah, and I agree. It's like when I'm 67 and I'm having more fun than that I've ever had in my life with my kids and my friends. And this podcast has taught me a lot, you know, and it has taught me, like my friend, all I can hope is that he gets saved. Uh, and I got a little kid in California right now, one of my kids. I can just pray that he gets saved. But for that to happen, you got to get out of yourself long enough to consider the the magic formula of what's going to work.
Well, you did the right thing in visiting your friend.
Yeah.
Now, whether you think that you had any effect on him or not that's not even part of the discussion. The fact of the matter is that's how people find salvation. It's you have to bring it to them.
Yeah.
You have to help them realize it. If he sat in his house the rest of his life, chances are it would never find him. But you're bringing it to him because you're showing compassion, you're showing concern, you're showing friendship, and all those things. I'm impatient. I like to get things done. That's why I loved mowing lawns, and it was hard work. But man, you showed up and that lawn was all shaggy and nasty. And when you left, when you walked off that property, an hour, even less later, it looked good. You got it done. You
Yeah.
improved the appearance of the earth. And sometimes I lose sight of the fact that people aren't like lawns. Sometimes it takes a lot longer to grow that thing in and make it look right and
adjust the level of the mower.
and just the level of the mower and fertilize it and water it. And sometimes those lives have been neglected, just like lawns.
Yeah. Carcass. So I journal a lot. You know that about me.
Yep.
And so I was journaling on what I can do to help my friend and that I'm really mad at him because I never ever thought that he would be leaning on weed. My gosh, it's just like total shocksville. So when I journal, I feel guilty when, I feel angry when, I feel fear when, and then I put 1 through 12 at the top. And while I'm journaling on my feelings, I put my 1 through 12 things up there at the top, and they're normally the same thing. Work out, drink water, eat healthy, trust God, pray, read the Bible, and things like that. Things that make you feel better. And so I was like, you know what? I don't like to just read the Bible. I'm not one of those.
Can I stop you right there? That's a good recommendation, because reading is one thing, studying is another.
Mhm.
And you probably already know this because you got your law degree at the mighty Texas Tech. Sorry for your loss this week.
Yeah.
But you couldn't just read the law. You had to learn the law.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
But hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
So I went to my office, and my office manager has been with me 26 years. She's family. I go, Paula, I need a good daily devotional. And I'm like, I got to have something that really feeds me. And she sent me, she goes, oh, I got it. You're going to love this. I go, oh, yeah, here we go again. It's Shane and Shane in the morning. It's a devotional link where these guys sing, and they do a little preaching, and they do praying for 15 minutes. And so the last week I've been driving to work listening to this daily devotion. I haven't cussed near as much. I'm very, very kind to people. And I'm like, it's created a sense of community before I start my day. I'm like, I love this. I feel like I'm part of the young crew, you know, but their singing is magical. And this morning it was Agnes Day, and I just love that song. And man, they could sing that. And I'm like, I told my wife, I said, I feel so much better starting my day with a daily devotional, you know?
Well, and why shouldn't you? Everybody should.
Yeah. And it's like you got to find what's working for you. And that's where building the community around you, it starts with you, you know?
I think like-mindedness is very helpful.
Yeah.
It helps you learn to trust people because they're like you. It holds you accountable, and vice versa. You know, I have a guy that I work out with occasionally, and we hold each other accountable because it's important.
It is important. And I think it starts even before that, Carcass. You got to look at what's working for you and what's not working for you. Right? My working for you is always really pretty cool. And those are the ones that you can really just start spitting out of your mouth. The not working for me is I have to stop cussing. It's like it's a lame crutch. And so this daily devotional, start my day that way. I'm like, hey, this is really cool. And it's a sense of community for me early in the morning with these guys. Anyways.
Well, I think it's important, just like eating right or saying your prayers or study or what have you, you've got to start the day off right. I mean, and there's no all at once in any of this stuff. It's one step at a time.
Yeah.
That's one, we've talked about it before. It's no different than sports. You don't become a superstar overnight.
I think sharing our podcast with people creates community.
I do it every time it lands. I send the link out and put it on my page.
I think going to church creates community.
Absolutely.
I think you got to figure out what your passion is. What's your passion? Is your passion helping people? My wife and I love working on Austin Street Shelter together. We love that.
That's a great charity. That's been in town here in Dallas Fort Worth for what, 30 some odd years?
Oh, more than that. Yeah,
it's really a good one.
I was even going over there and teaching for a while. I was teaching on Fridays in the women's shelter. They called me Trigger because I didn't want my real name out there. And I said, what do y'all want to call me? And they go, oh, we won't call you Trigger. So I really enjoyed that. But Also, my wife and I are now getting involved. We love dogs. I mean, dogs are great. And so we've gotten involved. She's on the board of the Dallas, what do you call it? Dog shelter deal, whatever. And
The SPCA?
yeah, she's on the board.
Okay.
And part of it is concentrated on when people go to treatment and they have an animal, they work to foster that dog while that person goes to treatment. And you'd be surprised how many. I asked last week, I go to Ashley, Ashley, how many people are on the wait to go to treatment until their dog gets taken care of? 88. I go, you're kidding me. But I love treatment, I love recovery, and I love dogs. So we've gotten involved on that, and that's created a sense of community. So what's your passion? I like to read. I'm in a book club with all doctors. I love it. It challenges me to read. And the sense of community is fantastic.
Well, you know, I've been involved in music and either passively or directly for a long, long time. And so I've sort of thrown myself headlong into that. I do a couple of radio shows where I get to choose the music. And unless somebody sends me a recommendation, I just play what I want. And it's affected people around the world because it's internet radio, which, you know, travels all over. But I get emails from soldiers over in Europe and the Middle East. I get we have listeners from Australia to England to China to Australia. It's great, and so you there really is a global effect when you try to be the best at what you love.
Yeah.
And
there's so many things that people can do out there, like art class. I think that's cool. My mother-in-law did that. She went to art class, and you're a good artist.
yeah,
And like you said, music. I mean, we stay in tune with music together. I think it's hilarious sometimes. We're at the other end of the spectrum.
but what do? We find the common ground.
Yeah, we find the common ground.
I mean,
So,
I'm looking behind you at your collection, and half those records are in my collection.
yeah.
So it doesn't matter what's on the fringe, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We agree. We can still be friends and have a different opinion, and that's one thing that the world doesn't realize. You can even be part of the same community and not 100% agree on everything.
Isn't that the truth?
But the world is so skewed that they think that if you don't bow down and believe everything they believe, then you're just your host. You're not my friend. And that's terrible.
That's the reason I think that we got to continue creating community. I think it starts there. It brings in greatness out of us. You know, it stretches you in discovery in the discovery programs. We always call it a stretch. What do you need to do to stretch yourself? Well, get out of your house and give back. It is.
Well, just like in weight training, you're never going to get stronger if you just bench press 15 pounds for your entire life. Sometimes you have to add weight. Sometimes you might even fail, but your body acclimates and you get stronger because you're acting upon those muscles. And it's no different in your community. You want to make a difference, then get out and make a difference.
Yeah, and stay out of the app department. Don't go create community in the app world.
Man,
leave the social media at home.
I'm like you probably in a lot of ways. I'm still a face-to-face handshake kind of person. And I realize that legally it's good to have everything written down and stamped and certified and documented and so forth. But man, when I first moved down here back in the early 80s, you could shake a guy's hand and know you were going to get paid. And it's just not even like that anymore. It's just completely the opposite direction now.
Yeah. People retraders everywhere.
Yeah. Well, the thing is my network of friends now, which I've sort of honed down to people that I mean, my dad used to ask me, "Who is your true friend? Who are your true friends?" And I said, "Well, define that." And he said, "Who would come visit you if you were on your deathbed? Who would come visit you in jail? And who could you call at any time of the day or night, and they would be there without asking a lot of questions. They would be there to help you, support you, whatever." And if you put that kind of context on it, I don't have a whole lot of friends.
No, I don't either. And
But
I told that my wife says, "No, you got friends. You got friends at your book club. You got friends here." You know, I'm going fishing this weekend in North Carolina. Uh, with
it's good to know who those people actually are. Who can you absolutely rely on without any hesitation? And I would do the same for certain other people too. But that's my community, and we built on that, and we've worked on it, trying to get to that point, because it's tough out there, man. And
Good.
once again, everybody is going to need a hand. Everybody.
Yeah.
You will not go your whole life without needing assistance in some form or fashion.
And I think that you grow when you get out of yourself long enough. You know, it's like people in recovery. That's the reason AA is so strong. People helping people.
Yeah.
You know, and people, places, things. Just little wonderful principles like that. You know, it's wonderful.
Well, what do they say? You can't take it with you. But what can't you take with you? Money, cars, things. But what you can take is your integrity, your intellect, and your emotion. Take that with you.
Yeah.
That's always yours, no matter what.
I had a therapist stop by and say hi to me today, and she was talking about that girl that hung herself. She goes, "Hey, by the way, I'm going to Montana this weekend because I can't take it with me. I'm going to Montana and I'm going to have a good time." I said, "Good for you." So I helped her plot her way through Montana. I was like, "Listen, you got to get out. You got to get out. You got to,
Well,
you
something
never know when it's going to be your time's up."
something my wife said to me once. She said, "Would you rather have stuff or would you rather have experiences?" And boy, I had to, because I mean, if you look behind me, I got lots of stuff and I've had more. But I would rather have the experience. I would rather have that forever thought in my head of, yes, we did that and we had such a great time. We just Facebook does have its moments where it's a really good tool, and it reminded me that 3 years ago, Steph and I just got on an airplane and surprised my parents. My parents had never met her, and they knew I was dating somebody, but they didn't know how serious it was or whatever. And we just got on a plane and landed and drove up the driveway to where they were staying, and it was like, it was magical. It was like a movie. I could make a Hallmark movie out of that moment. But see, that's an experience. And
Yeah.
had we not, and you know, could we have saved some money and not spent the money on the flight and all that stuff? Sure. But we got that moment, and that little kind reminder on Facebook was nice. It was a nice. It jogged my memory a little bit, and I thought, man, that was so cool.
I think the takeaway today is for a week, I want people to get out of the house and give back in some capacity to the community, whatever that is. Uh, Going to church, going wherever, giving a lady a rose, whatever it is, to get out of yourself. Do one thing this week to give back to the community, and let's see how it grows.
Right on.
So, on our way out, you know how we like to end with a quote?
Sure. What you got?
Do you remember Helen Keller?
Yes.
Tell her our listening base about Helen Keller.
Helen Keller was deaf and blind, but yet she was highly intelligent. And somehow she figured out a way to make her mark on society.
She did. And you know what her favorite quote was? Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much.
That's a mic drop right there.
Yeah, it is, bro. It is. Carcass, I hope you have a good week.
I will. I hope you do too.
And here's that quote, because together we can do a lot.
You just keep on him. You keep visiting. You keep the phone calls going. You send him a text. Follow those principles that we've been learning for the last year or so, a couple of years. And guess what? They'll work.
They'll work.
They will work.
All right. We can't wait to hear about y'all giving back to your community. We'll visit part 2 next week.
Right on.
All right.
Have a good week, Brett.
You bet.